to remember that. If you got a grandmama or a big mama that got a grievance and she put that shit in the public domain according to the oral tradition, the government has to fix the problem. They government won't do it. So it's almost like a conjure calling our government to solve our own problems for ourselves. By having the big mamas in the community speaking up, it called the community to action in a different kind of way than a draft would for a soldier. It doesn't work like that. It activates your energy centers. That's why Mama T, she used that age app to make you look older. It's a filter. And when she tell the story looking like a big mama, the response is fucking ridiculous. I put her up one time. People be sending me, I watch her on TikTok, but people be sending me all her YouTube shit, everything. They just be sending it to me. Like, I already fuck with her. You had to send it to me, I already fuck with her. You know, but I found a brother on Facebook. I put up some stuff from him. He been going ham with the knowledge. Right? I'm gonna do a show. I'm gonna do another live, and I'm gonna talk about other people like Karimo on YouTube.
Oh yeah, Karimo.
The rise of the Maru Khan. Right. That's his tribal landmass over there. He one of the Tupac boys.
Right. Then that brother had educated me, and I had educated our family, because my mother's lineage is Costa Rican. They still live there. I go there at least once or twice a year. And I was telling them, we're Mexica, we're Sigua, right? And telling them about Karimio's knowledge, because that landmass called Costa Rica was called Talamanca. They kept telling us, like, I went to one of my family members' homes, and they have the tracks, how they made the tracks in the 1800s. They still had it in the basement, right, from the 1800s. And they brainwashed us into believing that we were Jamaican. And I said, no, we didn't come over from Jamaica to Costa Rica. We were in Costa Rica already. But they have this big thing in Costa Rica where they say, no, none of y'all existed over here, right? The Spaniards were the ones that was here. And it's like, no, we were here. We were the Mexica.
So all of those islands, most of the people don't know they ain't directly from Africa. They indigenous clans from Cuba, Dominica, Puerto Rico, Haiti. All those are indigenous tribes down there. And they did have interactions with Western Africa for thousands of years. And the royal families of the Americas on the eastern seaboard, north and south, central, all the royal families exchanged brides among the royal families as a blood diversification program. Right? Because in the royal families, the incest was common. So to keep the genes diversified, they would marry across the water because they got an entirely different strain of blood. But like, it's indigenous people to South America that got sickle cell. They've been there the whole time. But they got malaria and mosquitoes down there too.
Yep.
The sickle cell trait, when the new frequency come in, it's gonna be something special. Inky did that shit. The mosquito and malaria, that was Enlil, one of his plagues. Inky created the sickle cell to protect the human from the malaria. When the DNA upgrade, it's supposed to upgrade the function of those people. They gonna be something special. I don't know what the fuck they gonna be, but for him to do it, they gonna be some special shit, and I want to see it because I know some people with sickle cell with some good motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They just had sickle cell, you know. Prodigy.
Yeah.
Prodigy, Mob Deep. You know, they say he died, but I can't find him on the ethers dead. I looked for him. inclined to believe he was extracted because I can't find him dead on the ethers.
All right. And Prodigy said a lot of shit now. He said a lot of things.
I know they had to extract ODB because they was trying to kill him for real.
Right.
He had to piss George Bush and them off playing Chief Crazy Horse because you know that's who he was playing, right?
Really?
Yeah.
You told us about that one.
Yeah. And so they definitely wanted him dead. That motherfucker wouldn't shut the fuck up. He fuck around and wake all these niggas up.
Right.
Trying to act. He be doing that old ODB shit, but then he tell you some real ass shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting right there. That's very interesting right there. And it's funny you talk about the sickle cell because other countries outside of this one have a tendency to treat it better.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know that the people down there have it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not common down there, how the fuck y'all know how to treat it better than how we know how to treat it up here?
Mm-hmm.
It's not until we leave here that we figure that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's all by design.
Our
you know
elders,
what I mean?
Our elders know how to treat everything.
Yeah.
The only problem is we believe Western medicine with their copyrighted medications. You got to remember that trademark, copyrighted, federally protected by the Food and Drug Administration, and the American Medical Association is their promotional and distribution wing of narcotics. It's a whole cartel. But because they put out pamphlets and paperwork, we believe they more legitimate than that nigga selling crack on the street when they the same amount of legitimate.
Same amount. Yep. They just want him to be registered. They want him to be taxable.
The illusion of legitimacy comes with the paperwork.
Right.
Right. That's the illusion. It's because they got us conditioned that the paperwork is the validation.
Yep.
Right? Because they started off by asking us for our slave papers. Now they ask us for an ID. Your slave papers for the ones who was at Big Mama had to give you a pass so that the pale face don't mess with you. When Big Mama married the Dirty Moor, he made us believe that the pale face was the slave owner, and all the time he owned the plantation. And he lost it through sharecropping agreements, trying to be slick.
You know what's so crazy too? It's people really out here, right? They be traveling, going places without a passport, without an ID. They travel with their Bibles or their other religious texts because God said, or Jesus said in the Bible, I determine who cometh and goeth with. So they use that at the checkpoint to get in and out of each country or each jurisdiction. But
that means that you are a member of the Catholic Church and you know how to use your passport.
Right.
You know how to use the authority of the church to get you wherever you want to.
Right.
There's some stuff they got to tell them with that too. Now, that ain't all of it.
Yeah.
But it's because you're a good representative of the church. All of the clergy got a clergy pass wherever they go.
Exactly.
Right. When you go to a hospital and they say that nobody can go in the ICU and you hold up your clergy pass, they can say, let the clergyman through.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because they can't stop a clergyman from coming in because he might have to give you your last rites according to your tradition.
Yep.
So he had to have unrestricted access to places everybody else can't go. He can cross borders unmolested because he's an agent of the church.
Right.
So they know what they're doing, but there's a certain way you got to use it, and only the ones who practice it know how to use it, or else everybody be using it.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
And then most of them was probably instructed not to teach anybody else how to use it because it's passed down in the priesthood. This is how you get from country to country with no passport.
Exactly.
It's a clergy pass.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But everything is being dismantled though, day by day. I can't wait for this shit because I've been waiting for it for a long fucking time. And so have our ancestors. Our ancestors, this is what people gotta understand. People be so afraid, but you literally gotta understand something. Your ancestors waited for this time period. This is the time period that they prayed for. And if you keep giving in to that fear mongering shit on the TV, oh, we at the end of the age, the earth is in bad shape. No, it's not. It's in bad shape for their asses.
It's clean
But this is
enough for us.
yeah, it's clean up for us.
So
It's a
look,
beautiful time for us.
you know, Trump already announced a year-long festival. He already, I'm serious. He already announced the World Fair because that's where we're going to unleash all of the technology and healing shit that they've been keeping secret.
Yeah.
It's going to be revealed at the World Fair. All that is a year-long celebration. Now, we're looking at a timeline between now and January of 2025. They have to have an infrastructure fully in place to be able to facilitate the type of international travel expected. He already announced dignitaries is going to be coming from around the world.
Yeah.
Right? All of them coming to America. Why in the fuck do they want to come here? The worst reputation of all of the countries in the world, America got that motherfucker. Why would dignitaries want to come here?
Yep.
Something good got to be about to happen.
Yep.
To make the people around the world want to flock to America, all of the people of high standard and status among their own people, they want to come visit some motherfuckers in America. What the fuck we gonna have going on? The biggest Mardi Gras motherfucker ever seen in their goddamn life. The biggest Los Carnival motherfuckers gonna be feeding everybody for free.
Yep.
You gonna be able to walk down the street, somebody gonna be barbecuing, having a cookout or something.
Same
You just gonna be able to walk and get a plate.
Yep.
Let's go see the neighborhood. It's gonna be all love. Cause we gonna remember who the fuck this shit belonged to, and we gonna know we got it back.
Yep. Yep. I believe that.
And if we ain't happy, ain't shit moving. So whatever we got coming, we gonna be happy about it.
Exactly.
We gotta be. Now remember, we the ones who ain't never made no treaties with them motherfuckers. We the outlaw tribes, the belligerent tribes to the corporation. So we the ones they got to satisfy. The ones that made the treaties with them don't have to be satisfied because they made the treaties with them. But you know what? Somebody had to hold the bear while we figure out how to slay this motherfucker. And that was the purpose of the treaty tribes.
Yeah.
Hold the bear and keep the motherfucking paper trail alive. That's going to help us remember. The rest of us going to figure out a different way because there's more than one way to skin a cat. It's more than one way to shoot a gat, and there's more than one way to slay this goddamn dragon. So if y'all hold the head, I'm going to skin this motherfucker from neck to asshole. When I get done dissecting him, there won't be no doubt about it, y'all going to be holding the head of a dead entity. And that's all they got left.
Yep. Yeah.
Anything else, babe?
No, I'm done, man. I appreciate you so much, Rod, all the time. Thank you for all the knowledge you drop, and it's always good to be on here. So, hey,
It's good seeing you. I'll be checking you out. I won't be saying nothing though.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, much love.
All right, sweetie. He needed somebody to run the red herring, draw the infiltrators out to the surface. whoever the infiltrator is going to disobey Elijah Muhammad and kill Malcolm anyway. Go back to Alex Haley in the book Autobiography of Malcolm X. Malcolm said, I will literally lay my life down for that man. Malcolm said that, right? So if Malcolm would die for him, and now it's time to die, and his son ain't willing to die for him. But the only way they can make it look convincing is what we call a left bump. Boom. It looks convincing enough. Never knowing our culture. See, Elijah lived by the culture of the chiefs of the land. But they want us to live by Europeanized ways and tell us that that's how we supposed to live. So we look at shit with the wrong perspective. So we're going to exploit that to create a rift between Malcolm and Elijah.
Right.
This is going to make Malcolm go against Elijah because he's the only one in the mission statement of COINTELPRO besides Martin and Elijah. So therefore, we know they're going to come at him. Right? So when Malcolm run the red herring, he do a press conference and named names, infiltrators. Named the names of the infiltrators. Then he said, I'm not telling. I know the code of the street. The police told me this. The enemy told me who the enemy was so that I know who was trying to kill me. He named names of infiltrators. If they obey Elijah Muhammad, we know that they with the messenger. But if they go after Malcolm and disregard the orders of the messenger, we know they ain't with him. So publicly, in front of everybody, he told the fruit, do not touch a hair on Malcolm's head. He said, Allah gonna take care of Malcolm. I don't want his blood on our hands. The same fucking thing the French said. When Malcolm tried to get off the plane in France and they wouldn't let him off, they say, we don't want your blood on our hands. The French was the only motherfuckers that we ran up out of here totally because they lost 2 out of 3 battles, major battles. They lost to Chief Pontiac and they lost to Tucson. Now they got to go home. So they sell the protectorate agreement to not advance beyond the Appalachians to the English, who don't have to follow their motherfucking orders because they don't give a fuck anyway. They coming. But the Englishmen look like us. They own the Royal Virginia Company and the Royal Northwest Trading Company, a slave trading company, merged with the Royal Moroccan Company to become one company under a treaty of peace and friendship so they can stop fighting each other on the transport of goods and from the Americas back to Europe. See, we talk about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, but we don't go find out what they were signing the treaty for and who the treaty was being made with. These was trading companies. This like Ford, GM, and Chrysler fighting over the auto industry, and all of a sudden, the only solution was for the president to force them to merge and become the United States Automakers, Inc. That's all that happened. So they tricked us out of our shit. But when you understand what's going on, you see what's going on, we know who the dirty players is.
Right. Yeah. And they look just like us. And people have to understand that this system was built by them, whether you know it or not. It was. Right. and we have to go back and start, you know, putting the pieces together. But like you said, our ancestors couldn't do it because we was just simply trying to make a dollar, feed
Well,
the family.
we had a different structure. We didn't need money per se,
Yeah.
right? We traded services for goods indeed. Like I would come fix your mama's sink and she cooked me 5 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Right. So when they came over here, we had gold and coal was the big things at the time. That was what Big Mama kept in her bank for bartering trade. The gold and the coal, all Big Mamas, the wealth of the community was stored in golds and coal. The coal had big piles of coal in certain parts of the land because they used that to heat the homes and shit. Anyway, the gold was used to mint coins between clans, and we do trade with gold coins. They tell
Right.
y'all that we didn't have no currency.